What is up, everyone? JD here. Hope you're all doing well today. It is that time once again to do my top carried knives of the month. I don't know how we're in November. I don't even know where October went. I don't feel like I even registered the month on my radar. I know I was busy at work. Man, where did the month go? Holy cow. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into my top 5 carried pocket knives of October. First, we do have a tie in the number 5 spot, so we're going to introduce both those knives to you now. First is going to be the ProTech Malibu. If you watch this channel regularly, you know how I feel about the Malibu. I feel like this is the gold standard for an EDC button lock knife. It is a flipper tab only. I know a lot of people are like, it doesn't have multiple means of deployment, but I can appreciate the fact that ProTech dedicated itself to perfecting the flipper tab deployment on this knife, and you do still have the button lock, so you can do the whole Civivi Elementum button lock thing if you want to. But this knife here is so crispy. Can't fail it. I mean, that is how you want to tune your button locks. Love the sounds. And the milling on this knife to me just should be a standard. I'm sure some people are going to disagree because they probably like the look of the clean lines without the micro milling on here, but it just really adds a ton of grip, which I appreciate for having the, big old hams here for the knife. Nice reverse tanto so that you have that tip for the utility cuts. Plenty slicey, does all the cutting needs that I have. Their 20 CV seems to be treated well. It does come with a nice factory edge. You can strap this and keep this going for a long, long time. You can just drop it right back to shape. No issues whatsoever. Rocket glides in there, make it nice and stiff. Really well centered, zero tolerances here. I mean, no gaps anywhere, which is awesome. Really, really good build quality. It is a bank vault in the pivot. Deep carry pocket clip, has a little bit of a landing pad there, so that makes it go in and out of the pocket nicely. This one here was tied for the number 5 spot. The other one is actually in my pocket, and I carried it a bunch towards the end of the month after I picked it up because I wanted to get a really good handle on it because I'm getting ready to film the review for it. And that is going to be my ProTech Mordax. Everything that I just said about the Malibu applies here to the Mordax, except that it's full-sized, drop point, has a much taller and more narrow grind than you see here on the Malibu, making it very slicey. And I'm sure that is a Ferrum Forge influence there. Man, that button lock, whew, they have that thing tuned to perfection. I love all the extra handle there for my big old hands. Really appreciate it. Really small forward finger choil, but I do constitute that as a sharpening choil because I just can't use it to choke up on the knife. I lay right on top of the blade, as you can see there. I am right on top of it. Most I can do is get my first knuckle in there comfortably without any issues. So to me, just a sharpening choil, that'd be my only complaint. Well, the branding. Awesome knives, man. ProTech just killing it in the button lock game. I'm going to drop this down just a little bit real quick. That way you can see the knives a little bit better because it's going to get a little crowded here in just a moment. Coming in at the number 4 spot for my top carried knife for the month of October is going to be my Spyderco Shaman. These are the dark matter scales from Fat Carbon. Really love the way that these look on the knife. They are skinny and they have the lanyard hole delete. Carbonized on Instagram made these for the Shaman. This is the Blade HQ exclusive with the M4 steel. I do love me some M4. And it also has the compression made easy CME. These are made by OCD for EDC. You can check out his website. Essentially, this makes it operate just like the Smock, a bit like a button lock where you don't have your finger in there so far, which is really nice when you go to the left hand because you can actually have really good grip. Ooh, as I just smash my knife into the table to try to demonstrate this, but you can operate it much easier left-handed with the CME, which I really appreciate. I did get rid of all of the other pocket clip holes on here as well to clean it up. Still have the factory backspacer. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with that. I definitely want to change it out. Not quite sure to what, but man, this thing has amazing fidgetability. It has gotten so smooth now that I forget that I don't have to put so much effort into it. I got to find that sweet spot again, because if you don't do it with enough force, it will not close all the way. But if you do it too hard, it'll bounce back out. So as it's broken in, as you can see there, it's changed a little bit. Phosphor bronze washers in the pivot are what keeping this from being a drop shut knife. I could loosen it up some more, but when I do, I'm right now just a hint of blade play in the pivot. If I do it anymore, it'll get really sloppy, and I don't want it to be like that. So it stays right here for me on this particular knife. This here, number 4 top carried knife for October. Coming in at number 3 is another Spyderco, and that is going to be my Spock. Everything that I said about the fat carbon scales bicarbonized apply here as well. Got rid of speed holes, got rid of the lanyard hole. I do have the, this is the MXG Gear deep carry pocket clip versus the Lynch Northwest. Rockets in the pivot, because this one does come on bearings. One of the few Spyderco knives that come on bearings here. Sorry, that was my fault. My finger got stuck on the blade as I was deploying it as I'm bumping the camera around. Again, apologies. Thumb hole works really well for thumb flicks, for reverse flicks, and it does have a flipper tab. It is a light switch flipper tab. You just want to pull down on it. Plenty of flat surface to where that actually works without any jimping. And this one here, a little bit more of a friendly sized EDC knife where it doesn't take up as much pocket space. It's more slender, but it also has a hollow ground sheep foot on it, and it does have this sharpening choil that you can really choke up on without getting too close to the blade. So this one really large hand friendly. Forgot to mention, love the ergos on the Smock and the Ferrum Forge and the Malibu. Like the ergos for having larger hands on those knives, some of them being smaller than others, are really friendly for a larger hand. Coming in at number 2 is going to be my Zahn. Chris Reeve Zahn, I don't know that there's much I need to say here. It has awesome ergos, nice and chunky, which I do like. Nice scallop here for the thumb. Jimping if you want to come back here. I've never actually really used this jimping. So if you have a Zahn and you have this jimping, you have to let me know what you've done with it, where you would come back here and use this jimping. I've never used it. I've used the scallop section to get out on the tip, and I've used the tip here to do utility and draw cuts, but never have I used this jimping that's way back here. This is phosphor bronze washers, really tight tolerances. It's meant to be opened really slow and closed really slow. Mine has broken in to where I can thumb flick it out, and it is starting to loosen up a little bit to where you can start to drop it, but I really don't operate it like that just because it's a different type of knife, different way of handling it, opening it, closing it, all that good stuff. Love that knife very much. That is the RGT titanium pocket clip that's on there, and I did anodize that myself to match the backspacer. Another tie on the list is going to be shared by the knives because they're the same but different variants. You probably know what it is already after saying that, but it is going to be the Demco AD 20.5 in the Arctic Storm Fat Carbon that I also picked up from Carbonized. It has the Lynch Northwest Deep Carry pocket clip, and the other variant that I have is going to be the 3V version of this knife with the original goat titanium scales. They call this pattern the shark's teeth. I did pick up the backspacer, and I did pick up the Lynch Northwest Deep Carry pocket clip. Both of these knives have rocket glides in there. One of them is the clip point. The other one is the shark's foot. Great utility. This one here has my edge on it now. I went ahead and got it sharpened. You can probably tell from far away it's definitely got more edge on there. This one I put more of a working edge as opposed to a mirror polish edge. I actually use my knives a lot, so I like a nice sharp working edge that's going to last a really long time. That's why I did that. All right, 10 minutes, not too bad for just an updated top pocket knife carry of the month. Let me know what's your favorite. What are you carrying now, and which one do you like out of mine? Which 2, 3, or would you take them all? Because I would. I do, and I'm keeping them. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate all the support. If you enjoyed the video, a like would be appreciated. If you're enjoying the content, a subscription would be even more appreciated. Thank you to everyone out there who has subscribed, comments, likes regularly. I appreciate that support. You all rock. I hope you have a fantastic week. Until next time, peace.